ॐ श्रीकृष्ण शरणं मम गोपिका जीवनस्मरणं गोविन्दा गोविन्दा सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। नमो नमः सद्गुरुभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो नमः सद्गुरुभ्यो नमो नमः। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रय विनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरह कातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुः तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि। यस्वानुभावमखिल श्रुतिसारमेकम् अध्यात्मदीपम् अतिथितीर्षतां तमोन्धं संसारिणां करुणयाः पुराणगुह्यं तं व्याससूनुम् उपयामि गुरुं मुनीनां। योगीन्द्राय नमस्तस्मै शुकाय ब्रह्मरूपिणे संसारसर्पदष्टं यो विष्णुरातम् अमूमुचत्। कालव्यालमुखग्रास त्रासनिर्नाशहेतवे श्रीमद्भागवतं शास्त्रं कलौकीरेण भाषितम्। एतस्मादपरं किञ्चित् मनःशुद्ध्यै न विद्यते जन्मान्तरे भवेत् पुण्यं तदा भागवतं लभेत्। ज्ञानवैराग्यसम्पूर्णान् हरिभक्तिपरायणान् पूर्वाचार्यात् अहं वन्दे सम्प्रदायप्रवर्तकान्। भगवन्नाम साम्राज्य लक्ष्मी सर्वस्व विग्रहं श्रीमद्बोधेन्द्र योगीन्द्र देशिकेन्द्रम् उपास्महे। कलिकालोचितं धर्मं नाम संकीर्तनात्मकं निर्णेतुम् अवतीर्णं तं प्रेमिकं सद्गुरुं भजे। हरे रामेति कृष्णेति नाम संकीर्तनं सदा लोकक्षेमाय कुर्वन्तं प्रेमिकं सद्गुरुं भजे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयात् इतरतश्चार्तेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। धर्मः प्रोज्झितकैतवोऽत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सतां वेद्यं वास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनं। श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृद्यवरुध्यतेऽत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषिभिस्तक्षणात्। निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखात् अमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयम् मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। श्रीमद्भागवताख्योऽयं प्रत्यक्ष कृष्ण एव हि स्वीकृतोऽसि मया नाथ मुख्यर्थं भवसागरे। मनोरथो मदीयोऽयं सफलः सर्वथा त्वया निर्विघ्नेनैव कर्तव्यो दासोऽहं तव केशव। श्रीहरये नमः। श्रीहरये नमः। श्रीहरये नमः। गोपिका जीवनस्मरणं गोविन्दा गोविन्दा सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। Good afternoon, everyone. So we'll have to do a review from 17 of 4.10. Uma, can you do I think 17, 13, 28, 25, 38, about 19 stanzas? So end of 10 and then first 6 stanzas of 11. And then let me see who else. Amuchichi, yeah. Amuchichi, can you do the other half?
Sure.
Okay. Uma, you there or? Okay. Amuchichi,
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I'm here. Rajesh, which one did you want me to do?
The first, the 4.10 and then 11, like 6 stanzas.
Oh,
From 17 of 4.10.
give me. Okay. Now, practice lam pannala, I'll try.
Oops. Oh, you there? Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I can't hear. But go ahead. Now I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Tasya te chapa adudane.
Yeah, from there. Ang India.
Rajesh, the first line.
Yeah, tasya che chapa
Okay.
nirmuktaha.
Okay. तस्य ते चापनिर्मुक्ताः भित्त्वा वर्माणि रक्षसां कायानाविविशुस्तिग्माः गिरीनशनयो यथा भल्लैः सञ्छिद्यमानानां शिरोभिश्चारुकुण्डलैः ऊरु ऊरुभि ऊरुभिर्हेमतालाभैः दो दोभिर्वलयवल्गुभिः हारकेयूरमुकुटैः उष्णिशैश्च महाधनैः आस्तृतास्ता रणभुवो रेजुर्वीरमनोहराः हतावशिष्ठा इतरे रणाजिराद् रक्षो गणाः क्षत्रियवर्यसायकैः प्रायो विवृक्णा वयवा द्रुवुः मृगेन्द्रविक्रीडतयूथपा इव अपश्यमानः स तदा ततायिनं महामृधे कञ्चन मानवोत्तमः पुरीं दिदृक्षन्नपि नाविशद्विषां न मायिनां वेद चिकीर्षितं जनः इति ब्रुविंश्चत्र रथः स्वसारथिं यत्तः परेषां प्रतियोगशङ्कितः शुश्रावशब्दं जलधेरिवेरितं नभस्वतो दिक्षु रजोन्वदृश्यत.
The first line, second word, Bruvam Chitrarata.
Okay. Bruvamश्चित्ररथ. Okay. क्षणेनाच्छादितं व्योम घनानीकेन सर्वतः विस्फुरत्तडिता दिक्षु त्रासयत्स्तनयित्नुना ववृषु रुधिरौघासृक्पूय विण्मूत्रमेधसः निपेतुर्गगनादस्य कबन्धान्यग्रतोन्नघ ततः खे दृश्यत गिरिः निपेतुः सर्वतो दिशं गदा परिघनिस्त्रिंश मुसलाः साश्मवर्षिणः अहयोशनिनिश्वासाः वमन्तोऽग्निं रुक्षाक्षिभिः अभ्यधावन् गजामत्ताः सिंहव्याघ्राश्च यूथशः समुद्र ऊर्मिभिर्मि sorry can you speak? ऊर्मिभिर्भीमः, right? Okay. समुद्र ऊर्मिभिर्भीमः प्लावयन् सर्वतो भुवम् आससाद महाह्रादः कल्पान्त इव भीषणः एवं विधान्यनेकानि त्रासनान्यमनस्विनां ससृजुस्तिग्मगतयः आसुर्या माययासुराः ध्रुवे प्रयुक्ताम् असुरैः तां मायाम् अतिदुस्तरां निशाम्य तस्य मुनयः शमाशंसन समागताः मुनय ऊचुः औत्तानपादे भगवांस्तव शार्ङ्गधन्वा देवः क्षिणोत्व वनतार्तिहरो विपक्षान् यन्नामधेयम् अभिधाय निशम्य चाद्धा लोकोञ्जसा तरति दुस्तरमङ्गमृत्युम्.
Second line, Uma. Devah Kshinotva Vanatarti Haro Vipakshan. On the word.
Okay. Now where that சொன்னேனா? Okay.
I think one of the tha you just left that, but as long as you have it, yeah.
Okay. इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायां चतुर्थस्कन्धे दशमोऽध्यायः.
Do 6 more of this, yeah.
Okay,
sorry.
okay, sorry.
Yeah,
अथ एकादशोऽध्यायः. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think my connection is a little unstable. But yeah, go ahead. I can hear you now. Yeah, you can do the first 6 stanzas, yeah.
Okay. मैत्रेय उवाच निशम्य गदतामेवं ऋषीणां धनुषि ध्रुवः सन्दधेस्त्रमुपस्पृश्य यन्नारायणनिर्मितं सन्धीयमान एतस्मिन् माया गुह्यकनिर्मिताः क्षिप्रं विनेशुर्विदुर क्लेशाज्ञानोदये यथा तस्यार्शास्त्रं धनुषि प्रयुञ्जतः पुङ्ख पुङ्खादने
Punkah, yeah.
ओके सुवर्णपुङ्खाः कलहं सवाससः विनिसृता आविविशुर्द्विषद्बलं यथा वनं भीमरवाशिखण्डिनः तैस्तिग्मधारैः प्रधने शिलीमुखैः इतिस्ततः पुण्यजना उपद्रुताः तमभ्यधावन् कुपिता उदायुधाः सुपर्णमुन्नद्धफणा इवाहयः
First line after the
सतान्
comma, first word after the comma, itas tatah. Tatah. I heard
Oh,
iti,
no,
but itas,
oh,
itas.
okay, yeah, okay, itastata, yeah, okay. सतान् पृषत्कैरभिधावतो मृधे निकृत्त बाहुरुशिरोधरोदरान् निनाय लोकं परमर्कमण्डलं व्रजन्ति निर्भिद्य यमूर्ध्वरेतसः तान् हन्यमानान् अभिवीक्ष्य गुह्यकान् अनागसश्चित्ररथेन भूरिशः औत्तानपादिं कृपया पितामहो मनुर्जगादोपगतः सहर्षिभिः
Yeah, it's done.
Okay.
मनुरुवाच अलं वत्सातिरोषेण तमोद्वारेण पाप्मना येन पुण्यजनानेतान् अवधिस्त्वमनागसः नास्मत्कुलोचितं तात कर्मैतत्सद्विगर्हितं वधो यदुपदेवानाम् आरब्धस्ते कृदैनसां नन्वैगस्यापराधेन प्रसङ्गात् बहवो हताः भ्रातुर्वदापि तप्तेन त्वयाङ्गभ्रातृवत्सल नायं मार्गो हि साधूनां ऋषिकेशानुवर्तिनां यदात्मानं परागृह्य आत्परमं पदं सत्वं हरेरनुद्यातः तत्पुंसामपि सम्मदः कथं त्ववद्यं कृतवान् अनुशिक्षन् सदां व्रतं तितिक्षया करुणया मैत्र्या चाखिलजन्तुषु समत्वेन च सर्वात्मा भगवान् सम्प्रसीदति सम्प्रसन्ने भगवति पुरुषः प्राकृतैर्गुणैः विमुक्तो जीवनिर्मुक्तो ब्रह्म निर्वाणमृच्छति भूतैः पञ्चभिरारब्धैः योषित् पुरुष एव हि तयोर्व्यवायात् सम्भूतिः योषित् पुरुषयोरिह एवं प्रवर्तते सर्गः स्थितिः संयम एव च गुणव्यतिकराद्राजन् मायया परमात्मनः निमित्तमात्रं तत्रासीत् निर्गुणः पुरुषर्षभः व्यक्तव्यक्तमिदं विश्वं यत्र भ्रमति लोहवद स खल्विदं भगवान् कालशक्त्या गुणप्रवाहेण विभक्तवीर्यः करोत्यकर्तैव निहन्त्य हन्ता चेष्टा विभुन्न खलु दुर्विभाव्या सोऽनन्दोऽन्धकरः कालो नादिरादिकृतव्ययः जनं जनेन जनयन् मारयन् मृत्युनान्तकम् न वै स्वपक्षोऽस्य विपक्ष एव वा परस्य मृत्योर्विशदः समं प्रजाः तं धावमानमनुधावन्त्यनीशाः यथा रजांस्यनिलं भूतसङ्गाः आयुषोपजयं जन्तोः तदैवोपजयं विभुः उद्भाभ्यां रहितस्वस्थो दुस्तस्य विददात्यसौ केचित् कर्म वदन्त्येनं स्वभावमपरे नृप एके कालं परे दैवं पुंसः काममुदावरे अव्यक्तस्याप्रमेयस्य नानाशक्त्युदयस्य च न वै चिकीर्षितं तात को वेदाथ स्वसम्भवम् न चैते पुत्रकभ्रातुः हन्दारोदनदानुगाः विसर्गादानयोस्ताद पुंसो दैवं हि कारणं स एव विश्वं सृजति स एवावतिहन्ति च अथाभिह्यनहङ्कारात् नाज्यते गुणकर्मभिः श्रीहरये नमः.
Okay, so we'll just finish a little bit leftover meaning of 4.11 and then we'll do. So I think last time we saw how when Dhruva was having the battle with the Yakshas and then, he used the Narayana Astram and then the Yakshas were getting defeated. A lot of them were getting killed. At that time, Swayambhu Manu comes there and then advises him to stop, right? And then he reminds him of his primary purpose. He talks about Bhagavan. He talks a lot about karma. And then the final wrap up, he says that at the end of the day, he says this, no, you have to surrender yourself to the Lord, which you've already done, but kind of a reminder to Dhruva, right? And he reminded him how at the age of 5, when he was affected by what his mother's words, he left everything, he went in, he got a darshan of Bhagavan, which is something which is so hard for everybody to get, and he's attained the highest of worlds. That is so in the rest of his life, he needs to continue doing that and not to forget the main purpose of this. And finally, to get over this feeling of I and mine, which is why he was killing, because he thought somebody had hurt my brother, right? So he felt that relation was important for him, which he reminded that you have to come over it, right? That everybody's soul is on its own, right? You are related to it because only in this birth, in this way. So don't kind of think of all of that. So he reminds him. And then he tells one important thing saying that whatever he did to the Yakshas, right, was something which was like disrespecting Kubera. Because Kubera, at the end of the thing we saw, was like he's a great demigod, right? And he's equivalent, like a brother of Shiva. He's responsible for a lot of things. So he says by hurting the Yakshas, you disrespected Kubera, and by that means you're also disrespecting Lord Shiva. So he says it is very important that you go back and you offer your respects and offer your apologies to Kubera, and then that is a way which is very important because you don't want to fall on the wrong side of Kubera and Shiva and all of those things unnecessarily, right? It's a distraction from your path. So Swayambhu Manu reminds Dhruva of that and then he departs. So that's kind of how 11 comes to an end. So we'll start from 26. Let me see who I had. Priya Arun, you can be a student, and Srividya Sriram. एष भूतानि भूतात्मा, भूतेशो भूतभावनः स्वशक्त्या मायया युक्तः, सृजत्यत्ति च पाति च. एष भूतानि भूतात्मा, भूतेशो भूतभावनः स्वशक्त्या मायया युक्तः सृजत्यत्ति च पाति च.
एष भूतानि भूतात्मा, भूतेशो भूतभावनः स्वशक्त्या मायया युक्तः सृजत्यत्ति च पाति च.
एष भूतानि भूतात्मा, भूतेशो भूतभावनः स्वशक्त्या मायया युक्तः सृजत्यत्ति च पाति च.
तमेव मृत्युम् अमृतं तात दैवं, सर्वात्मनोपेहि जगत्परायणं यस्मै बलिं विश्वसृजो हरन्ति, गावो यथा वै नसि दाम यन्त्रिताः. तमेव मृत्युममृतं तात दैवं सर्वात्मनोपेहि जगत्परायणं यस्मै बलिं विश्वसृजो हरन्ति, गावो यथा वै नसि दाम यन्त्रिताः.
अमेव मृत्युम् अमृतं तात दैवं सर्वात्मनोपेहि जगत्परायणं यस्मै बलिं विश्वसृजो हरन्ति, गावो यथा वै नसि धाम यन्त्रिताः.
तमेव मृत्युम् अमृतं तात दैवं सर्वात्मनोपेहि जगत्परायणं यस्मै बलिं विश्वसृजो हरन्ति, गावो यथा वै नसि
दाम यन्त्रिताः.
नसि धाम यन्त्रिताः.
यः पञ्चवर्षो जननीं त्वं विहाय, मातुः सपत्न्या वचसा भिन्न मर्म, वनं गतस्तपसा प्रत्यगक्षं पुटइं, next word starts with आराध्य लेभे मूर्ध्नि padam trilokyaha. So by doing that, you got the top of the 3 worlds. You are able to get that at the age of 5. You got that blessing. Yav pancha varsho jananim tvam vihaya matu sapatnya vachasa bhinna marma vanam gatas tapasa pratyagaksham आराध्य लेभे मूर्ध्नि पदं त्रिलोक्याः
यः पञ्चवर्षो जननीं त्वं विहाय मातुस्सपत्न्या वचसा भिन्नमर्मा वनं गतस्तपसा प्रत्यगक्षम् आराध्य लेभे मूर्ध्नि पदं त्रिलोक्याः
यः पञ्चवर्षो जननीं त्वं विहाय मातुः सपत्न्या वचसा भिन्नमर्मा वनं गतस्तपसा प्रत्यगक्षम् आराध्य लेभे मूर्ध्नि पदं त्रिलोक्याः
तमेनम् अंगात्मनि मुक्त विग्रहे व्यपाश्रितं निर्गुणम् एकम् अक्षरं, just breaking at that ma if you want, आत्मानम् अन्विच्छ विमुक्तम् आत्मदृग्, यस्मिन्निदं भेदमसत् प्रतीयते. तमेनमङ्गात्मनि मुक्तविग्रहे व्यपाश्रितं निर्गुणमेकमक्षरम् आत्मानमन्विच्छ विमुक्तम् आत्मदृग् यस्मिन्निदं भेदमसत् प्रतीयते.
तमेनमङ्गात्मनि मुक्तविग्रहे व्यपाश्रितं निर्गुणमेकमक्षरम् आत्मानम् अन्विच्छ विमुक्तमात्मदृक् यस्मिन्निदं मदत् प्रदीयते.
भेदमसत् प्रतीयते.
यस्मिन्निदं भेदमसत् प्रदीयते.
अவ்வளவுதான். भेदमसत्
भेदमसत् प्रतीयते.
यस्मिन्निदं भेदमसत् प्रतीयते.
भेदमसत् प्रतीयते. ओके, श्योर.
तमेनमङ्गात्मनि मुक्तविग्रहे व्यपाश्रितं निर्गुणमेकमक्षरम् आत्मानमन्विच्छ विमुक्तमात्मदृक् यस्मिन्निदं भेदमसत् प्रतीयते.
त्वं प्रत्यगात्मनि तदा भगवत्यनन्ते. If you have a ta there, my book has a ta, it ends with a te. Bhagavatyanante, Ananda matra upapanna samasta shaktau bhaktim vidhaya paramam shanakaira vidya, put a plus, granthim vibhetsyasi mamahamiti prarudham. So those 2 lines are together. Tvam pratyagatmani tada bhagavatyanante आनंदमात्र उपपन्न समस्त शक्तौ भक्तिं विधाय परमां शनकैरविद्या ग्रन्थिं बिभेत्स्यसि ममाहमिति प्ररूढम्.
त्वं प्रत्यगात्मनि तथा भगवत्यनन्ते आनन्दमात्र उपपन्न समस्त शक्तौ भक्तिं विधाय परमां शनकैरविद्या ग्रन्थिं बिभेत्स्यसि ममाहमिति प्ररूढम्.
त्वं प्रत्यगात्मनि तथा भगवत्यनन्दे नन्ते
फर्स्ट संस्कृत भगवत्यनन्ते
आनन्दमात्र उपपन्न समस्त शक्तौ भक्तिं विधाय परमां शनकैरविद्या ग्रन्थिं बिभेदस्य ममाहमिति prarudham.
And the last mamahamiti is just the word before that, vibhetsyasi.
Granthim vibhetsyasi mamahamiti prarudham.
Yeah. So the first word that says Bhagavati Anante. So by remembering that the Bhagavan is there in everybody, he is the common soul in everybody. and through this bhakti, you will get over this mama aham iti. So mama is mine, aham is I. So you will get over this feeling of mine and I. You will get over all of that feeling. Sanyacha rosham bhadram te, comma, pratipam shreyasam param, shrutena bhuyasa rajan. If you have a double na there, first put a in rajan, comma. Next word starts with the a, agadena yathamayam. Samyacharosham bhadram te, pratipam shreyasam param, shrutena bhuyasa rajan, agadena yathamayam.
सम्यक्चरोषं भद्रन्ते प्रतीपं श्रेयसां परं श्रुतेन भूयसा राजन् अगदेन यतामयं राजन् stress பண்ணணுமா ராஜேஷங்க?
I mean, otherwise it won't. You don't have to stress. Just for landing, Rajan is okay.
संयच्चरोषं भद्रं ते प्रदीपं श्रेयसां परं श्रुतेन भूयसा राजन् अगदेन यथामयम्.
Again, he's saying Rosham. Rosham is anger. He's saying that is always going to be a roadblock for your spiritual progress. Yenopasrishtat purushat. If you have a double la, first one becomes a it. Purushat, comma. Loka udvijate brisham. Na buddhas tadvasham gachet. If you have a di, that becomes a it there. Gachet, comma. Next word starts with the e. Icchan abhayam atmanah. Yenopasrishtat purushat loka udvijate bhrisham na bhutas tadvasham gacchete icchan abhayam atmanah.
येनोपसृष्टात् पुरुषात् लोक उद्विजते वृषं न बुधस्तद्वशं गच्छेत् इच्छन्न भयमात्मनः.
येनोपसृष्टात् पुरुषात् लोक उद्विजते भृशं न बुधस्तत्वशं गच्छेत् इच्छन्न भयमात्मनः.
Kelanam Girisha Bhratuhu Visarga, comma. So Girisha, Shiva's Bhratu, brother. So he's saying Kubera is the Girisha's brother here. Bhratuhu, comma. Next word, the ir goes away. Dhanadasya tvaya kritam yaj jagnivan punya janan, comma. Bhratru gnanitya marshitaha. Kelanam Girisha Bhratuhu Dhanadasya tvaya kritam yajagnivan punya janan bhratrgnanitya marshitah.
केलनं गिरिशप्रातुः धनदस्य त्वया कृतं यज्जग्निवान् पुण्यजनान् भ्रातृघ्ना नित्यमर्षितः.
केलनं गिरिभ्रातुः धनदस्य त्वया कृतं यज्जग्निवान् पुण्यजनान् भ्रातृघ्ना नित्यमर्षितः.
The first line should be the Girisha Bhratuhu. I didn't hear the Sha sound. Girisha Bhratuhu. Yeah.
Bhratuhu.
Tam prasadaya vatsashu, comma, sannatya prashrayoktibihi na yavan mahatam tejah, comma, kulam nobhi bhavishyati. Tam prasadaya vatsashu sannatya prashrayoktibihi na yavan mahatam tejah kulam nobhi bhavishyati.
Tam prasadaya vatsaashu sannatya prashrayogdibihi na yavan mahatam tejah kulam no bhivishyati.
Tam prasadaya vatsaashu sannatya prashrayogdibihi na yavan nahatam tejah kulam no bhavishyati.
Evam swayam bhuvah tautram, break at that comma, अनुशास्य मनुर्ध्रुवं तेनाभिवन्दितः साकं इं ऋषिभिः स्वपुरं ययौ एवं स्वायम्भुवः पौत्रम् अनुशास्य मनुर्ध्रुवं तेनाभिवन्दितः साकं ऋषिभिः स्वपुरं ययौ
एवं स्वायम्भुवः पौत्रम् अनुशास्य मनुध्रुवम् तेनाभिवन्दितः साकम् ऋषिभिः स्वपुरं ययौ
एवं स्वायम्भुवः पौत्रम् अनुशास्य मनुर्ध्रुवम् तेनाभिवन्दितः साकम् ऋषिभिः स्वपुरं ययौ
इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायां चतुर्थस्कन्धे एकादशोऽध्यायः
इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायां चतुर्थस्कन्धे एकादशोऽध्यायः
इति श्रीमद्भागवते महापुराणे पारमहंस्यां संहितायां चतुर्थस्कन्धे एकादशोऽध्यायः
द्वादशोऽध्यायः sorry question
இந்த சிவனோட பிரதர்ஸ் அவர் பேர் என்ன சொன்ன
இல்ல குபேர நம்ம குபேரா இருக்க இல்ல குபேரா
நம்ம பேர்
அதே அது வந்து அது சான்ஸ்கிரிட்ல வந்து it is said as குவேரா பா சவுண்ட் நாட் பா
அத பேரமா ஓகே
okay just like how இந்த பிருந்தாவன் ஆறதுல இந்த மாதிரி இந்த வா becomes ba in a colloquial way so its right name is குபேரா okay but it's loosely said as Kubera. No, he's not exactly Shiva's brother, but he's like a brother.
அப்ப அது யக்ஷாவோட லீடர்
He's the ruler of the Yakshas.
ஓகே தனம் அந்த குபேரா அது
அதே குபேரா தான் so he's the one so you know like so he necessarily is dhanam in the sense not in the way we think of money like that. Correct. But you have to think of riches and prosperity in general for all of the demigods, right? He's like considered like in our words he's like a treasurer, but it's not like the demigods have a bank and then he's managing the finances appadi kadiyadu, but he's responsible for the prosperity of all the demigods to make sure everybody gets what they need, right? All the prosperity things, whatever is required for survival, he's the distributor of that for the demigods. So that's Kubera. He lives in Kailasha and he's like Shiva's brother and அவரோட ரெண்டு பசங்க தான் அந்த கிருஷ்ணா இதுல வந்து ரெண்டு பேரும் அந்த மரமா வர போற அப்புறமா அவரோட
ஓகே थैंक यू ராஜேஷ்
मैत्रेय उवाच ध्रुवं निवृत्तं प्रतिबुद्ध्य वैशसात् so the put it as it वैशसात् अपेत मन्युं भगवान् धनेश्वरः there it is धन ईश्वरः he is the head of all the wealth तत्रागतश्चारण यक्ष किन्नरैः संस्तूयमानोऽभ्यवदत् one word संस्तूयमानोऽभ्यवदत् कृताञ्जलिम् मैत्रेय उवाच ध्रुवं निवृत्तं प्रतिबुद्ध्य वैशसात् अपेतमन्युं भगवान् धनेश्वरः तत्रागतश्चारण यक्ष किन्नरैः संस्तूयमानोऽभ्यवदत् कृताञ्जलिम्
मैत्रेयोवाच ध्रुवं निवृत्तं प्रतिबुद्ध्य वैशसाद् अपेतमन्युं भगवान् धनेश्वरः तत्रागतश्चारण यक्षकिन्नरैः संस्तूयमानोऽभ्यवदत् कृताञ्जलिम्
मैत्रेय उवाच ध्रुवं निवृत्तं प्रतिबुद्ध्य वैश्यसात् अपेद्यमन्युं भगवान् धनेश्वरः तत्रागतश्चारणयक्षकिन्नरैः संस्तूयमानोऽभ्यवदन् कृताञ्जलिम्
वदत् कृताञ्जलिम् धनदौ वाच refers to Kubera here. भोः you have to say that visarga kshatriya dayada parituštosmi tenagha yastvam pitamahadeshat put it vairam dustyajam atyajah Dhanadhau vacha bho bhoho kshatriyadayad parituštosmi te nakha yastvam pita mahadeshat vairam dustyajamatyajah.
भो भोः क्षत्रिय दायाध परितुष्टोऽस्मि तेन घ यस्त्वं पितामहादेशात् वैरं दुस्त्यजम् अत्यजः
धनदौवाच भो भोः क्षत्रियदायदाः परितुष्टोऽस्मि तेन ग यस्त्वं पितामहो महादेशात् वैरं दुस्त्यज मद्यजः.
First line just before the comma. Kshatriya dayad.
भो भोः क्षत्रियदायाद.
Rajeshri, Dhanata Uvacha means who is talking now?
Kuvera.
Okay.
So in the dayadana dayadi madhya, or the relative nathama.
Like he's telling Dhruva as a Kshatriya, but I don't know what the Dayada is. He's saying you are a great Kshatriya. He's addressing Dhruva, but I don't know the specific meaning of the word Dayada in that context at least. Na Bhavan Avadhit Yakshan. So you have a double na there. First put it in Avadhit Yakshan, comma. Na Yaksha Bhrataram Tava. Kala eva hi bhutanam, comma, prabhurapyaya bhavayoho. Na bhavan avadhit yakshan, na yaksha bhataram tava, kala eva hi bhutanam, prabhurapyaya bhavayoho.
न भवान् अवदीत् यक्षान् न यक्षा भ्रातरं तव काल एव हि भूतानां प्रभुरप्ययभावयोः
न भवान् अवदीत्यक्षान् न भवान् अवदीत्यक्षान् न यक्षा भ्रातरं तव काल एव हि भूतानां प्रभुरप्याय भावयोः. प्रभुरप्यय भावयोः.
We'll switch, but I'm just going to quickly say the meaning. So this is the last chapter in Dhruva Charitram, right? So it's first. So this one is about the 6 chapters or 5 chapters on Dhruva Charitram, right? So this one has 3 parts to this. One is the first is the conversation that is going to happen between Kuvera and Dhruva. That is the first part. Then is the second is the Dhruva's leaving the earth and going to the Dhruva Lokam. That is described in detail about what happens, how he goes, and all of that. That is the second part of it. Then the third is a wrap up of this with a phalastuti of what is the benefit of chanting Dhruva Charitram and hearing about Dhruva Charitram. That's how these three parts of this chapter, right? So anyway, so so Swayambhu Manu says to Dhruva that you have to really apologize to Kuvera because you don't want him to hurt and you don't want your kulam, you don't want your hereditary, the ancestry to get impacted because you did something wrong here, right? So when Dhruva thinks of it, when his anger subsides, he then stops the battle with all of the yakshas. At the time, Kuvera then comes in front of Dhruva. So, and Kuvera now comes and then tells Dhruva, first of all, it is very hard when you're so angry and you're in the middle of a battle. It is first of all appreciated that you stopped the battle. You realized that, right? Manu came and gave you an advice. You realized it, you stopped it. And then again here, Kuvera also advises Dhruva, right? The same thing that Manu says, Kuvera is going to tell Dhruva again. Kuvera says that, that don't think that the yakshas killed your brother or you are killing the yakshas. You have to always remember that. And this is beaten into our head like 100 times till we realize that you are only killing the body. You are not killing the person who, the main soul, right? That soul always remains unchanged. And that's what is happening here. You didn't kill the yakshas, only killed your brother's body. Your brother's soul is intact. It is always eternal. So you have to get over this thinking of I, because that is the ignorance that you still are carrying, which you have to actually get over it. And, he says that, of course, Dhruva is a great personality, right? So Kuvera is saying that you are great and you continue to do everything that you are actually doing and you're blessed. And he says that because you have directly met with Bhagavan and you're in supreme service, I want to give you something. I want to give you something as a boon. So Kuvera says, whatever I can offer you, ask for whatever I can offer you right now, right? That's the offering that Kuvera says. Now, any time, like we've seen, any great devotees are offered saying, what do you want? Once they are in the realized state, then the only two things they ask for, which is exactly what Dhruva asked. He says that I want achanchala. So it comes in stanza 8. Harosa vabre achalitam smritim yaya. He says, I want that unflinching devotion and faith towards Hari. Right? That is number one. My devotion should not flicker. It should not change. It should always be there. That's number one. And second is constant smritim. I want to always be remembering him. He says those are the only two things, right? And this is the same thing that Uddhava asked for, Maitreya said, everybody asked for, because they know that any blessing you get is always a one-time benefit. The only blessing that's going to be continuous with you all the time is by saying that I have to always be thinking about Bhagwan. I should not lose my devotion, because that is always going to be sustaining. Any money or anything you get is going to lose it someday, right? So that's what even Dhruva is asking, that's exactly what he wants. So Kuvera says, of course, right? Because Dhruva also knows that's what is required, because he has a long lifetime left. And Kuvera also agrees with it, and then he actually gives him that blessing, and then then Kuvera departs. So that's kind of the one. Now, Dhruva is continuing. He goes back to his kingdom. Now, the remaining time that Dhruva actually has, he's primarily now, he's fully realized. Of course, he was already realized before. He's now even better. So the rest of his life that he leads, he talks about how he does a lot of yajnam, he does all these things, right? And then he's always rendering devotional service to Bhagavan. And then by doing that, what happens is he starts realizing and seeing what was missing for him. He starts seeing the same Bhagavan in all of those entities, in all of the beings and everything. He's beginning to see that. And then then it talks about how he does a lot of good things for the people. He's, follows all the principles. He's kind to the poor and all of that stuff. And with that, he continues to rule for 36,000 years, which is what Bhagwan had told, that you're going to Shatrimsha Sahasram, right? You're going to rule for 36,000 years. And with that, he does. Now, then an interesting thing they say, why is he ruling for 36,000 years? Because he says, although you are enlightened, and I was just telling this in my Narayaniam class because we were doing 94 and 95, although you're enlightened, you may not get liberated, because you still have to exhaust your karmas, right? So Dhruva has a lot of good karmas pending. That's why he's a king, right? He's a Manu's grandson, Uttanapada's son. He's going to rule over the entire earth. So he has a lot of karma left, good karmas left. You cannot escape those good karmas also. You have to come. The good karmas are going to come your way, right? So he cannot get liberated till those good karmas get over. Now, the problem is when those good karmas come and you start enjoying and you start getting attached to it, you are creating more karma, right? So Dhruva knows that. So he has to be careful, saying that I don't want to do any more bad karma. So I'm not creating any more negative karma. Any good karma that is coming, I'm not going to get attached. So if something is coming my way, I'm not going to say no, because if something comes your way and you end up saying no, it's going to come to you again. You cannot run away from it, right? It has to come to you. It is going to come to you. So what he says here is accept it, but don't get attached with it. Like, don't get too excited or happy or energized because of something good happening. So the way he's thinking about is whatever is coming because that's what Bhagavan intends to come, right? Whatever is coming is because I have done something good in my past lives, which is actually coming my way. But I'm going to remain focused on what is important for me. Let this come, let this go. So by being like that and not getting attached to it, what is happening is he's burning away all his good karmas also, and is burning away all his bad karmas, because he's not doing anything. So with that, he runs out his time essentially, right? So finally, he comes to the realization his time is coming to an end, and then he realizes that all of this is, this material energy is just of the Bhagavan. I'm not going to get attached to it. Time has finally come for me to leave. So when the time now finally comes for him to leave, he then renounces everything he has, right? He has all this wealth. He has sons, grandsons. We're going to see the lineage of Dhruva with Anga and Vena and all of those people, So anyway, so he renounces all of those things, and then he goes to Badarikashrama. So he goes to Badarikashrama where he retires, right, at some point. So there he retires, and then of course Badrikashrama is already a purified place. That place is already a punya sthalam. So by going there and dipping in the waters of the Ganges there, it makes him even more blessed. And there he's spending all his time performing Ashtanga Yoga, which is really, so this is really talking, when we talk about Ashtanga Yoga and theory and all, we wonder why is it, who is doing it, but all these great people like Kapila and Dhruva have all performed it. They've all gone through it. That's how they are getting liberated, right? So he performs that, he gets his senses under control, he gets his breath under control, which anyway he was able to do it. And then he's always constantly in meditation. And then he in this, there was a statement here, which again, just because I did Narayanam class today morning, it talked about bhakti in 90, which is what Krishna is going to tell Uddhava later in the 11th canto, where he says the bhakti has to be such that you should have like hair standing, horripilation all over your body, your heart has to melt, tears have to roll out of your eyes. That is true devotion, and Dhruva is beginning to experience it, which means he knows time has come for him to get liberated, right? So when that point is reached for it, it says Mukta Linga, he then is freed from all material bondage. When that happens, then the messengers from Bhagavan come to meet him. So it talks about two messengers, like how, for Ajamila, they are going to come later. So, the two messengers are actually coming, who are Nanda and Sunanda. Those are the two messengers. And those are referenced in multiple places, when they look at in Vaikuntha, just like how we saw Jaya and Vijaya as two Dwarapalakas. This Nanda and Sunanda are always extensions of Bhagavan. They're always there with Bhagavan, and they are his representations, right? So they all come in a very beautiful Vimana. They come and they are just like Bhagavan. They also have the dark blue, the dark gray color. They also have Chatur Bhujam, and they're having, lotus-like eyes and everything. So they all come, and then they tell Dhruva that, you have done all the things that is actually there. Bhagavan is pleased with you, and he's already offered you the Dhruva Lokha. So we've actually come here to actually take you along, right? So you are now welcome, because your time on this earth has come to an end. You are now ready to be transported to Dhruva Lokam, right? Which is going to require a special mode of transport. That's what we are here, personal people to come and take you. So Dhruva then wraps up his life on earth, right? Now, even in this time, it talks about, even though he's getting liberated, he still makes sure that he's getting the blessings of all the other people who are there in Badrikashrama, who are the great sages who live there. He does namaskarams to them. And then his body changes, because he's now leaving his earthly body. And he's now going to take a new body to be able to go in this Vimana and to be able to go to Dhruva Lokam. He actually gets a new body. And then it talks about how the messenger of death is coming in the form of somebody, which just means that his time has come to an end. But then it talks about how Dhruva is able to put his feet on the top of death, which means he's overcoming death. There is no death for him, right? The time has come, and then he's just departing. And then the messengers Nanda, Sunanda take him. At the time, Dhruva realizes that my mother is still there, Suniti, right? She's still alive. So Dhruva says, she is my guru as well, because although Narada gave me the Diksha of what mantram to chant, Suniti, my mother, told me when I was upset that, yes, you have to go pray to Bhagavan. So she put me on the route of praying to Bhagavan is important. So she's like my guru, right? And he says that I cannot just get liberated without taking my guru along with me, right? And this is very similar to, like the connection that Prahlada is going to do to Hiranyakashipu, right? Although Hiranyakashipu is going to be so bad, it's because of Prahlada that Hiranyakashipu gets to meet Bhagavan, right? Otherwise, Bhagavan wouldn't have come. It's because of that he gets, and then he gets blessed because of that, right? So I think that association is very important. So because Suniti was there with Dhruva, Dhruva says, I need my mother also to come along. And because she's like my guru as well, I want to take. So he says, yeah, your mother is also coming. She's just in a different aircraft or, different Vimana, it says, right? You're going to come with us. Some other people are carrying your mother also. She's also going to come with you. So that is kind of the first two portions of this thing where Dhruva then departs. And then it talks about a little bit, I'll tell later about the path he takes to go to Dhruva Lokam. Okay. All right. So let's switch here. Priya Srikumar, you can be a student, and Vani, you can be a student. Okay, Inga, where did we stop? At 3 or 4? Where did we finish?
3.
Okay. Aham tvamitya partha dhihi. So the ra goes away, visarga comma dhihi. Next word starts with the ajnanat purushasya hi. Swapni va bhatya tadhyanat. So that whole word is together, cannot break that word. But the very after that, the dhya that is there, that we're going to break it as a it and a ya. So swapni va bhatya tadhyanat, comma, yaya bandha viparyayo. Aham tvamitypartadhihi ajnanat purushasya hi swapni va bhatya tadhyanat yaya bandha viparyayo.
अहं त्वमित्यपार्थाधीः अज्ञानात् पुरुषस्य हि स्वाप्नी वा भात्य तद्ध्यानात् यया बन्धविपर्ययौ
अहं त्वमित्यापार्थाधीः अज्ञानात् पुरुषस्य हि स्वाप्नी वा भात्य तद्ध्यानात् यया बन्धविपर्ययौ
तद्गच्छ ध्रुव भद्रं ते कॉमा भगवन्तं अधोक्षजं सर्वभूतात्म भावेन कॉमा सर्वभूतात्म विग्रहम्. Just a few stanzas where the Kubera is telling Dhruva. तद्गच्छ ध्रुव भद्रं ते भगवन्तं अधोक्षजं सर्वभूतात्म भावेन सर्वभूतात्म विग्रहम्.
तद्गच्छध्रुवभद्रं ते भगवन्तमधोक्षजं सर्वभूतात्मभावेन सर्वभूतात्मविग्रहम्
सर्वभूतात्मभावेन
तद्गच्छ
तद्गच्छ ध्रुवभद्रन्ते भगवन्तमधोक्षजं सर्वभूतात्मभावेन सर्वभूतात्मविग्रहम्
भजस्व भजनीयांघ्रिम इम कॉमा अभवाय भवच्छिदं युक्तं विरहितं शक्त्या कॉमा गुणमय्यात्म मायया. भजस्व भजनीयांघ्रिम अभवाय भवच्छिदं युक्तं विरहितं शक्त्या गुणमय्यात्म मायया.
भजस्व भजनीयाङ्घ्रिम् अभवाय भवच्छिदं युक्तं विरहितं शक्त्या गुणमय्यात्ममायया
भजस्व भजनीयांघ्रिम् अभवाय भवच्छिदं युक्तं विरहितं शक्त्या गुणमय्यात्ममायया
ब्रीणीहि कामं नृप यन् मनोगतं कॉमा मत्तस् त्वम् औत्तानपदे विशङ्कितः. लॉन्ग वर्ड. त्वम् औत्तानपदे विशङ्कितः वरं वरार्होऽम्भुज नाभ पादयोः र goes away विसर्ग कॉमा पादयोः अनन्तरं त्वां वयमङ्ग शुश्रुम. वृणीहि कामं नृपयन् मनोगतं मत्तस्त्वमौत्तानपदे विशङ्कितः वरं वरार्होऽम्भुजनाभपादयोः अनन्तरं त्वां वयमङ्ग शुश्रुम.
ऋणीहि कामं नृपयन् मनोगतं मत्तस्त्वमौत्तानपदे विशङ्कितः वरं वरार्होऽम्बुजनाभपादयोः अनन्तरं त्वां वयमङ्गशुश्रुम.
वृणीहि कामं नृपयन्मनोगतं मत्तस्त्वमौत्तानपदे विशङ्कितः वरं वरार्होऽम्बुज
Yeah, it's vararho ambuja, but it's together. Vararhombhuja.
वरं वरार्होऽम्बुजनाभपादयोः अनन्तरं त्वां वयमङ्गशुश्रुम.
Maitreyo vacha sa raja rajena varaya chodito, comma, dhruvo mahabhagavato mahamatihi. See, that's why he's a Mahabhagavata, because he doesn't, Kuvera is telling, Kuvera has the entire prosperity of the Devas. Dhruva could have asked for anything he wanted, right? But then he didn't. He said, all I want is harau sa vabre chalitam smritim yaya, comma, taratya yatnena duratyayam tamaha. Maitreya uvacha sa raja rajena varaya chodito ध्रुवो महाभागवतो महामतिः हरौ स बव्रे चलितां स्मृतिं यया तरत्ययत्नेन दुरत्ययं तमः.
मैत्रेय उवाच स राजराजेन वराय चोदितो ध्रुवो महाभागवतो महामतिः हरौ स वव्रे चलितां स्मृतिं यया तरत्ययत्नेन दुरत्ययं तमः.
स राजराजेन वराय चोदितो ध्रुवो महाभागवतो महामतिः हरौ स वव्रे चलितां स्मृतिं यया तरत्ययत्नेन दुरत्ययं तमः.
You have the Maitreya Vacha, right?
Yes.
Tasya Pritena Manasa, comma, Tam Datvaidavidastatah, one word, Pashyatontar Dhade Sopi, comma, Swapuram Pratyapadhyata. Tasya Pritena Manasa, Tam Datvaidavidastatah, Pashyatontar Dhade Sopi, Swapuram Pratyapadhyata.
तस्य प्रीतेन मनसा तां दत्त्वैडविडस्ततः पश्यतोऽन्तर्दधे सोऽपि स्वपुरं प्रत्यपद्यत.
तस्य प्रीतेन मनसा तां दत्वैडविडस्ततः पश्यतोऽन्तरधरे सोऽपि स्वपुरं प्रत्यपद्यत.
Dadhe Sopi.
पश्यतोऽन्तर दधे सोऽपि
Pashyatontar dhade.
पश्यतोऽन्तर्दधे सोऽपि स्वपुरं प्रत्यपद्यत.
Atha yajata yagnesham, comma, kratubhir bhuri dakshinaihi dravya kriya devatanam, comma, karma phalapradham. So he says, Dhruva performs many, yajna and everything, for whom, like we saw in Daksha, when we saw Daksha Charitram, the final offerings of all these yajna is Narayana. He is the one. That's why in Vishnu Sahasranam you say yajna bhuk, yajna kritsakni, yajna brit, yajna sadhana. So he is the one who is the consumer of everything that you put in the yajna. He is the ultimate. So Dhruva performs all of this, which goes to Bhagavan. But later on, it's going to come in Krishna Avataram, where the gods are going to say the same thing. He says, while you are the consumer of everything that everybody puts into the yajna, even the demigods, more than that, what you like is sharing and sitting with your Gopa boys and eating the food from their hands. So when they all go for that in Aghasura Vadam time, and they all go and sit and eat, so they all share that ball of rice that everybody has, which Krishna shares with them. So Deva says the same thing is going to get referenced there. It's going to say, while you are the consumer, for you even more than that is whoever is offering what they have eaten as a devotion, with more devotion, that surpasses whatever is put as into the yajna also. Anyway, but here Dhruva is doing the yajnas anyways. अथाजयत यज्ञेशं क्रतुभिर् भूरि दक्षिणैः द्रव्य क्रिया देवतानां कर्म फलप्रदम्. अथाह्यजत यज्ञेशं क्रतुभिर्भूरि दक्षिणैः द्रव्य क्रिया देवतानां कर्म फलप्रदम्.
अथाय च यज्ञेशं क्रतुभिर्भूरि दक्षिणैः द्रव्यक्रियादेवतानां कर्म
अथायजत यज्ञेशं क्रतुभिर्भूरि दक्षिणैः द्रव्यक्रियादेवतानां कर्म फलप्रदम्.
सर्वात्मन्यच्युते सर्वे, one long word, तीव्रौघां भक्तिमुद्वहन् ददर्शात्मनि भूतेषु, तमेवावस्थितं विभुम्. सर्वात्मन्यच्युते सर्वे तीव्रौघां भक्तिमुद्वहन् ददर्शात्मनि भूतेषु तमेवावस्थितं विभुम्.
सर्वात्मन्यच्युते सर्वे तीव्रौघां भक्तिमुद्वहन् ददर्शात्मनि भूतेषु तमेवावस्थितं विभुम्.
सर्वात्मन्यच्युते सर्वे तीव्रौघां भक्तिमुद्वहन् ददर्शात्मनि भूतेषु तमेवावस्थितं विभुम्.
And the first word is Sarvatmani Achyuta. That's why the ni and a becomes nya there. So
Yeah.
Tamevam Sheela Sampannam, Brahmanyam Dina Vatsalam, Goptaram Dharma Setunam, Menire Pitaram Prajaha. Tamevam Sheela Sampannam, Brahmanyam Dina Vatsalam, Goptaram Dharma Setunam, Menire Pitaram Prajaha.
तमेवं शीलसम्पन्नं ब्रह्मण्यं दीनवत्सलं गोप्तारं धर्मसेतूनां मेनिरे पितरं प्रजाः
तमेवं शीलसम्पन्नं ब्रह्मण्यं दीनवत्सलं गोप्तारं धर्मसेतूनां मेनिरे पितरं प्रजाः.
त्रिंशत् वर्ष साहस्रम क्षशास क्षिति मंडलम भोगै पुण्यक्षयम कुर्वन्. Put in there instead of the double na, in comma. Next word starts with the a. Abhogair ashubhakshayam. Shatrimshat varsha sahasram shashasa kshiti mandalam bhogai punyakshayam kurvan abhogair ashubhakshayam.
षट्त्रिंशद्वर्षसाहस्रं शशासक्षितिमण्डलं भोगैः पुण्यक्षयं कुर्वन् अभोगैरशुभक्षयम्.
षट्त्रिंशद्वर्षसाहस्रं सशासक्षितिमण्डलं भोगैः पुण्यक्षयं कुर्वन् अभोगैरशुभक्षयम्.
14. Evam bahusavam kalam, Mahatma Vichalendriyah. That word is together. Mahatma Vichalendriyah. Trivargo Paikam Nitva, Putra Yadan Ripasanam. It's a double na there, so you can say it together. Putra Yadan Ripasanam. Evam bahusavam kalam Mahatma Vichalendriyah. Trivargo Paikam Nitva Putra Yadan Ripasanam.
एवं बहुसवं कालं महात्मा विचलेन्द्रियः त्रिवर्गौपैकं नीत्वा पुत्रायादान् नृपासनम्.
एवं बहुसवं कालं महात्मा विचलेन्द्रियः त्रिवर्गौपैकं नीत्वा पुत्रायादान् निपासनम्.
मन्यमान idam vishwam, maya rachitam atmani, avidya rachita swapna, put a plus, gandharva nagaropamam. Manyamana idam vishwam, maya rachitam atmani, avidya rachita swapna, gandharva nagaropamam.
मन्यमान इदं विश्वं मायारचितमात्मनि अविद्यारचितस्वप्नगन्धर्वनगरोपमम्.
मन्यमान इदं विश्वं मायारचितमात्मनि अविद्यारचितस्वप्नगन्धर्वनगरोपमम्.
So here is where he really saying time has come for me to leave everything, and then he goes. Atmastriyapatya. So that's one word. Atmastriyapatya suhrudo bhalam riddha kosham. Put a im, comma. Next word starts with a. Antah puram parivihara bhuvascha ramyaha bhumandalam jaladhi mekhalam akalayya. Put a plus. Mekhalam akalayya kalopasrishtamiti sa prayayau vishalam. So the last two lines are together. Atmastriyapatya suhrudo balam riddha kosham antah puram parivihara bhuvascha ramyaha bhumandalam jaladhime kalamakalaya kalopasrishtamiti saprayayau vishalam.
आत्मस्त्रपत्य सुहृदो बलमृद्धकोशम् अन्तः पुरं परिविहार भुवश्चरम्याः भूमण्डलं जलधिमेखलमाकलय्य कालोपसृष्टमिति भूमण्डलं जलधिमेखलमाकलय्य कालोपसृष्टमिति स प्रययौ विशालाम्
आत्मस्त्रियपत्य सुहृदो बलमृद्धकोशम् अन्तःपुरं परिविहार भुवश्च रम्याः भूमण्डलं जलधिमेकलमाकलय्य कालोपसृष्टमिति स प्रययौ विशालाम्
तस्यां विशुद्धकरणः शिववार् विगाह्य बद्वासनं जितमरुन् मनसा हृताक्षः स्थूले दधार भगवत् प्रतिरूप एतद् ध्यायंस्तदव्यवहितो व्यसृजत् समाधौ तस्यां विशुद्धकरणः शिववार्विगाह्य बद्वासनं जितमरुन्मनसा हृताक्षः स्थूले दधार भगवत् प्रतिरूप एतद् ध्यायंस्तदव्यवहितो व्यसृजत् समाधौ
तस्यां विशुद्धकरणः शिववार्विगाह्य बद्ध्वासनं जितमरुन्मनसा हृताक्षः स्थूले दधार भगवत्प्रतिरूपयेतत् ध्यायंस्तदव्यवहितो व्यसृजत् समाधौ
तस्यां विशुद्धकरणः शिववार्विगाह्य बद्वासनं जितमरुन् मनसा हृताक्षः स्थूले दधार भगवत्प्रतिरूपयेतत् एतद् ध्यायंस्तदव्यवहितो व्यसृजत् समाधौ
भक्तिं हरौ भगवति प्रवहन्नजस्रं पुट इं नेक्स्ट वर्ड आनंद बाष्प कलया मुहुरर्ध्यमानः विक्लिद्यमान हृदय पुलकाचितांगो पुट प्लस नात्मानं ब्रेकिंग एट दैट नात्मानं asmarat asaviti mukta lingaha. So this is where he's feeling all of that, right? So when he has all those feelings, then it's clear that the time has come for him to be mukta lingaha, to be freed, to be liberated. Bhaktim haro bhagavati pravahanna jasram ananda bashpakalaya muhuradhyamanaha विक्लिद्यमान हृदय पुलकाचितांगो नात्मानमस्मरदसाविति मुक्तलिंगः
भक्तिं हरौ भगवति प्रवहन्नजस्रम् आनन्दबाष्पकलया मुहुरर्ध्यमानः विक्लिद्यमान हृदयः पुलकाचितांगो नात्मानमस्मरदसाविति मुक्तलिंगः
भक्तिं हरो भगवति प्रवहन्नजस्रम् आनन्दबाष्पकलया मुहुरद्यमानः विक्लिद्यमान हृदयः पुलकाचितांगो नात्मानमस्मर दसाविति मुक्तलिंगः.
That last line, that da, you can break it. Natmanam asmarat asaviti.
Asmarat asaviti, okay.
Yeah, that'll be easier if you want.
Yeah.
Sa dadarsha vimanagriyam, nabhaso vatarat dhruvaha vibhrajayat dasha disho, raka patim iboditam. So that's vimanagriyam. A special vimana is coming. Sa dadarsha.
Sorry, shasana கொடுத்திருக்கு.
In the word
first line shasasa shidamand
sadadarsha vimanagriyam nabaso vatara dhruvaha.
Okay, you're good. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. 19, okay. Sadadarsha vimanagriyam nabaso vatara dhruvaha vibhrajayat dasha disho rakapatimivodhitam.
सददर्श विमानाग्र्यं नभसोऽवतरध्रुवः बिभ्राजयद्दशदिशो रागापतिमिबोधितम्
सददर्श विमानार्घ्यं नभसोऽवतरद्भुवः बिभ्राजयद्दशदिशो राकापतिमिबोधितम्.
Okay, we'll just switch last round. Sudha, you can be student, and Shanti, you can be student. Tatranu deva pravarau chaturbhujau, comma. So now they're describing the two messengers who have come. Shyamau Kishora Varunambujekshanau. So it is Kishorau Aruna Ambuja Ikshanau. So like Kishorau, who are they have youth-like looks, and then Aruna means red. Ambuja, eyes. Ikshanau is eyes. Ambuja is lotus. So they have red lotus petals like eyes. Youth in form, and Shamau in that dark blue or the grayish blue color. Stitava Vashtabhya Gadam Suvasasau, comma, Kirita Harangada Charu Kundalau. Tatranudeva Pravarau Chaturbhujau Shyamau Kishoravarunambujekshanau Stitava Vashtabhya Gadam Suvasasau Kirita Harangada Charu Kundalau.
तत्रानुदेव प्रवरौ चतुर्भुजौ श्यामौ किशोरावरुणाम्बुजेक्षणौ स्थितावष्टभ्य गदां सुवाससौ किरीटहाराङ्गदचारुकुण्डलौ.
तत्रानुदेव प्रवरौ चतुर्भुजौ श्यामौ किशोरावरुणाम्बुजेक्षणौ स्थितितावष्टभ्यगदां सुवाससौ किरीटहाराङ्गदचारुकुण्डलौ.
Vignaya Tavuttama Gaya Kinkarau. So if you have a Ra and a Va there, we're just going to make it a Rau. Kinkarau, comma. Next word will start with the A. Abhyuttitas Sadvasa Vismrita Kramaha Nanama Namani Grinan Madudvishaha, comma. Parshat Pradhanaviti Samhatanjalihi. So Anjalihi. So isn't doing an Anjali. Dhruva is doing prostrate or doing namaskar or Anjali, holding his hands and welcoming the two beings there. Vignayata Vuttamagaya Kinkarhau Abhyuttita Sadvasa Vismrita Kramaha Nanama Namani Grinan Madudvishaha Parshat Pradhanaviti Sanghatanjalihi.
विज्ञायतावुत्तमगाय किङ्करौ अभ्युत्थितत्साध्वस विस्मृतक्रमः ननाम नामानि गृणन्मधुद्विषः पार्षत्प्रदानाविति संहताञ्जलिः.
विज्ञायदावुत्तमगाय किङ्करौ अव्युत्तदसात्वस विस्मृतक्रमः ननाम नामानि गृणन्मधुद्विषः पार्षत्प्रदानाविधि संहताञ्जलिः.
Tam Krishna Padhabhinivisht Chetasam, comma, Bhaddhanjalim Prashraya Namra Kandharam Sunanda Nandhavupasritya Sasmitam, comma, Pratyuchatuf Pushkara Nabha Sammato. So the word Krishna is used here. Like Krishna is not yet even born, right? Krishna is going to come way later. But because here Maitreya is telling, instead of saying the representations of Narayana or representatives of Hari, and he's saying because Dhruva's mind is on Hari and Narayana at this point, there's no Krishna. So, but he's still using the word loosely, right? That's because he says there's no difference between Krishna and Narayana in that mind. That's why the word Krishna is coming, that he's always thinking, or his mind is on the feet of Krishna. That's what he's saying here. Tam Krishna Padhabhinivishta Chetasam Baddhanjalim Prashraya Namra Kandharam Sunanda Nanda Upasritya Sasmitam Pratyuchatuh Pushkaranabha Sammatau.
Tam Krishna Padabhinivishtachetasam Baddhanjalim Prashraya Namra Kandaram Sunanda Nanda Upasritya Sasmitam Pratyuchatuh Pushkaranabha Sammatau.
Tam Krishna Padabhinivishtachetasam Baddhanjalim Prashrayanam Ragandaram Sunanda Nandavubasrutya Sasmitam Pratyuchaduh Pushkaranabha Sammadau.
Sunanda Nandavuchatuhu भो राजन् सुभद्रं ते वाचं नो वहितः शृणु यः पञ्चवर्षस्तपसा भवान् देवम् अतीतृपत् सुनन्दनन्दावूचतुः भो राजन् सुभद्रं ते वाचं नो वहितः शृणु यः पञ्चवर्षस्तपसा भवान् देवम् अतीतृपत्
सुनन्दनन्दाव ऊचतुः भो राजन् सुभद्रं ते वाचं नो वहितः शृणु यः पञ्चवर्षस्तपसा भवान् देवमतीतृपत्
सुनन्दनन्दाऊचतुः भो राजन् सुभद्रं ते वाचं नो वहितः शृणु यः पञ्चवर्षस्तपसा भवान् देवम् अदीद्रुपत्
तस्याखिल जगद्धातुः the r goes away visarga comma आवां देवस्य शार्ङ्गिणः पार्षदापिह सम्प्राप्तौ नेतुं त्वां भगवत्पदम्. A शार्ङ्गिणः is the one who carries the sharanga bow in his hand. So because you've been always thinking we are representations of the one who carries the sharanga bow. तस्याखिल जगद्धातुः आवां देवस्य शार्ङ्गिणः पार्षदाभिः सम्प्राप्तौ नेतुं त्वां भगवत्पदम्.
तस्याखिल जगद्धातुः आवां देवस्य शार्ङ्गिणः पार्षदाविह सम्प्राप्तौ नेतुं त्वां भगवत्पदम्.
तस्याखिल जगद्धातुः आवां देवस्य शार्ङ्गिणः पार्षदाविह सम्प्राप्तौ नेतुं त्वां भगवत्पदम्.
सुदुर्जयं विष्णुपदं जितं त्वया यत् सूरयो प्राप्य विचक्षते परम् आतिष्ठ तच् चन्द्र दिवाकरादयो ग्रहर्क्षताराः परियन्ति दक्षिणम्. So he says this Vishnu Padam, where you are going to be going to Dhruvaloka, is something which is very, very difficult for people to even comprehend, right? What it is and where it is. And you are now fortunate to be able to go there. So Dakshina in Sanskrit could also mean right side. It could mean south. It also means right, depending on the context. So he says all these planets or the other bodies, star bodies, revolve with this Vishnu Padam to its right. So it always, goes around it. So that thing we are going to take you there. Sudurjayam Vishnupadam jitam tvaya yat surayo prapya vichakshate param atishtata chandra divakaradayo grahakshatarah pariyanti dakshinam.
सुदुर्जयं विष्णुपदं जितं त्वया यत्सूरयो प्राप्य वीक्षते परम् आतिष्ठ तच्चन्द्रदिवाकरादयो ग्रहर्क्षतारा पर्यन्ति दक्षिणम्.
सुदुर्जयं विष्णुपदं जितं त्वया यत्सूरयो भ्राव्य विक्षसते परम् आदिष्टदच्चन्द्रदिवाकरादयो ग्रहर्क्षदाराः पर्यन्ति दक्षिणम्.
Anastitam te pitrbihi. The r goes away, visarga comma pitrbihi. Next word starts with a. Anyairapyanga karhichite Atishtha jagatam bandhyam, tad vishnof paramam padam. This is nobody has gone there. None of your ancestors, nobody has had a chance to even go there, but you are going there. Anastitam te pitribihi anyairapyanga karhichite Atishtha jagatam bandhyam tad vishnof paramam padam.
अनास्तितं ते पितृभिः अन्यैरप्यङ्गकर्हिचित् आतिष्ठ जगतां वन्द्यं तद्विष्णो परमं पदम्.
अनास्तिदं ते पितृभिः अन्यैरभ्यङ्गगर्हिचित् आदिष्टजगदां वन्द्यं तत् विष्णो परमं पदम्.
एतत् विमानप्रवरं उत्तम श्लोक मौलिना उपस्थापितम् आयुष्मन् अधिरोढुं त्वमर्हसि. एतद् विमानप्रवरम् उत्तमश्लोकमौलिना उपस्थापितमायुष्मन् अधिरोढुं त्वमर्हसि.
एतद्विमानप्रवरम् उत्तमश्लोकमौलिना उपस्थापितमायुष्मन् अधिरोढुं त्वमर्हसि.
एतद्विमानप्रवरम् उत्तमश्लोकमौलिना उपस्थापितमायुष्मन् अतिरोढुं त्वमर्हसि.
मैत्रेयो उवाच निशम्य वैकुण्ठ नियोज्य मुख्ययोः विसर्गा कॉमा नेक्स्ट वर्ड इर् गोes away मधुच्युतं वाचम् उरुक्रमप्रियः कृताभिषेकः कृत नित्य मंगलो कॉमा मुनीन् प्रणम्याशिषं प्रणम्याशिषम् अभ्यवादयत्. मैत्रेय उवाच निशम्य वैकुण्ठ नियोज्य मुख्ययोः मधुच्युतं वाचमुरुक्रमप्रियः कृताभिषेकः कृतनित्यमङ्गलो मुनीन् प्रणम्याशिषमभ्यवादयत्.
मैत्रेय उवाच निशम्य वैकुण्ठनियोज्य मुख्ययोः मधुच्युतं वाचमुरुक्रमप्रियः कृताभिषेककृतनित्यमङ्गलो मुनीन् प्रणम्याशिषम् अभ्यवादयत्.
मैत्रेय उवाच निशम्य वैकुण्ठनियोज्य मुख्ययोगो मधुच्युतं वासम् उरुक्रमप्रियः कृताभिषेककृतनित्यमङ्गलो मुनीन् प्रणम्याशिषम् अभ्यवादयत्.
And the first line just before the comma middle mukhyayoho.
निशम्य वैकुण्ठनियोज्य मुख्ययोः
परित्याभ्यच्य दिष्ण्याघ्र्यं comma पार्षदावभिवन्द्य च ईश तद अधिष्ठातुं comma बिभ्रत रूपं हिरण्मयम्. So he gets a body which is shining like gold. So it's a very lustrous body that he's getting so that he can travel through this. Parithyabhyarchya dishnyagryam parshadababivandyya cha yesha tadadishthatum bibhratrupam hiranmayam.
परित्याभ्यर्च्य दिष्ण्याग्र्यं पार्षदावभिवन्द्य च ईयेष तदधिष्ठातुं बिभ्रद्रूपं हिरण्मयम्.
परित्याभ्यर्च्य दिष्ण्यार्क्यं पार्षदावभिवन्द्य च ईयेष तदधिष्ठातुं बिभ्रद्रूपं हिरण्मयम्.
तदोत्तानपदः पुत्रो कॉमा ददर्शान्तकम् आगतं मृत्योर्मूर्ध्नि पदं दत्वा कॉमा आरुरोहाद्भुतं गृहम्. तदोत्तानपदः पुत्रो ददर्शान्तकमागतं मृत्योर्मूर्ध्नि पदं दत्वा आरुरोहाद्भुतं गृहम्.
तदोत्थानपदपुत्रो ददर्शान्तकमागतं मृत्योर्मूर्ध्निपदं दत्वा आरुरोहाद्भुतं गृहम्.
तदोत्थानपदः पुत्रो तदर्शान्तकम् आगतं मृत्योर्मूर्तिपदं दत्वा आरुरोहाद्भुतं गृहम्.
तदा दुन्दुभयो नेदुः विसर्ग कॉमा here goes away मृदंग पनवादयः गन्धर्वमुख्याः प्रजगुः कॉमा पेतुः कुसुम वृष्टयः. तदा दुन्दुभयो नेदुः मृदंग पनवादयः गन्धर्वमुख्याः प्रजगुः पेतुः कुसुम वृष्टयः.
तदा दुन्दुभयो नेदुः मृदङ्गपणवादयः गन्धर्वमुख्ययः प्रजुगुः पेतुः कुसुमवृष्टयः.
तदा दुन्दुभयो नेतुः मृदङ्गपडवादयः गन्धर्वमुख्याः प्रजगुः भेदुः कुसुमवृष्टयः.
स च स्वर्लोकम् आरोक्ष्यन् कॉमा सुनीतिं जननीं ध्रुवः Anvasmaradagam hitva, comma, Dinam yasye trivishtapam. So he's remembering his mother, Janani here, Suniti. Sachaswarlokamarokshyan Sunitim Jananim Dhruvaha Anvasmaradagam hitva Dinam yasye trivishtapam.
स च स्वर्लोकमारोक्ष्यन् सुनीतिं जननीं ध्रुवः अन्वस्मरदगं हित्वा दीनां यास्ये त्रिविष्टपम्
स च स्वर्गलोकम् आरोक्षयन् सुनीतिं जननीं ध्रुवः अन्वस्मरकदं हित्वा दीनां यास्ये द्रिविष्टभम्.
First line Arokshian, just a ikshu sound, not a full ksha there. Okay, Arokshian.
स च सर्वलोकम्
Swarlokam.
स च स्वर्लोकम् आरोक्षयन्.
Arokshian. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, not ksha. Yeah. We'll do one more because that's exactly where I stopped the meaning also on 33. Iti vyavasitam tasya, comma, vyavasaya surottamau darshayam asatur devim, comma, puro yanena gacchatim. Iti vyavasitam tasya vyavasaya surottamau darshayam asatur devim puro yanena gacchatim.
इति व्यवसितं तस्य व्यवसायसुरोत्तमो दर्शयामासतुर्देवीं पुरो यानेन गच्छतीम्.
इति व्यवसितं तस्य व्यवसायसुरोत्तमौ दर्शयाम् आसदुर्देवीं पुरो यानेन गच्छतीम्.
Stop here. Shri Hare Namaha, Shri Hare Namaha, Shri Hare Namaha. Gopika Jeevana Smaranam Govinda Govinda. Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Kayena vacha manasendriye va buddhyatmana va prakrite swabhavat karomi yatyat sakalam parasmai narayanaayeti samarpayami.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you, Rajesh. Thank you.
Bye,
Rajesh.
everyone.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Bye. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
Thank you, Rajesh.